Que paso, YouTube? Long time no see. um, this video is actually going to be brought to you by, I don't know what the hell's going on. Athletic Brewing Company, non-alcoholic golden ale. First thing I'll say about this beer is it's not great. Definitely, I would recommend not buying it. But at least it's expensive, so I've got that going for it. My wife actually bought this stuff. She thinks I should drink less, which obviously everyone should drink less, but I only have a couple beers a day, and I do really love them. It's not like I drink 6 beers, but that's a tasty beverage. Yeah, so talk a little bit about the 31. The title says, what does it say? Sebenza 31, don't believe the haters. Funny thing about that is everybody's focusing on the ceramic ball interface, locking mechanism interface, and I don't think it's the proper place to focus on. It's if anything, you can see mine's a little gudgy in there, but if anything, it's I feel like it's definitely an upgrade. This knife here, I have been carrying every day since it came back from being worked on in the Chris Reeve Knives shop. I'm gonna look at that a little closer. Yeah, it's just a little jizz in there. And it has been phenomenal. I've really been enjoying the small Sebenza 31 micarta. Gosh, just everything about it. I like everything. I like the clip position better. I wouldn't have thought that little difference would make that big of a difference, but it does make some difference. Part of it probably also is just the micarta inlay on this one. But man, this is a great little knife. Obviously, I mean that's what you hope for and you expect when you buy a $500 knife. This one is it's funny. They're beginning to be a mouthful because like I think I counted 6 terms that like this Sebenza has. So it's like small Sebenza 31, natural micarta, double thumb lug, right hand? No, but it's funny that like that you got to go into like that much detail over these things. Used to be just like small Sebenza, small plain Sebenza, you know. But what a great knife, honestly. I mean, I've always been a fan of the small Sebenza. I've always been a little bit, not always, but since about 2005. Was it 2005? No, it was more like 2004. I've been more of a large Chris Reeve knife user. Um, Big part of that has just been because I've always been in a rural area where it's, not at all frowned upon to carry any basically size pocket knife or even fixed blade knife. I will be soon, unfortunately, well, for better or for worse. My wife is wanting us to move to a larger city, so we actually will be moving to to the Front Range here in Colorado, and so I will be living in a place with a blade restriction of 3 inches, which kind of fucking sucks. But so yeah, I guess that means this guy's gonna see some more use. I fully intend to press it into what I would say EDC, so like everyday carry. I don't like that people use the term EDC just for like not every day, just like there ought to be like a different term than EDC, everyday carry. There should be like a fucking gay gadget term, like or something like that. Go gay gadget guy, something like that. I don't know, but there needs to be something other than the everyday because it just yeah. I guess you could say a knife is an EDC item. Flashlight is an EDC item, but I don't know. It seems to me like people don't really do the everyday. Um, but yeah, man, all I can say is I have a lot of faith that this knife is going to be fantastic for me. Um, I still don't love this. Obviously, this stop pin design. I feel like that is a step back in Chris Reeve knives. Um, Obviously, the holes in the washers, I can't stand those. I feel like that's a step back. It doesn't help anything. It, in fact, causes problems. Um, but that said, I don't think there's a sexier knife personally, just because I like minimal, I like simple, than a Chris Reeve Sebenza 21, or sorry, 31 in this case. They're basically identical looking, obviously. Um, And I really don't. I just really like the overall aesthetics of these knives. I love S35VN. If you know me, that's the truth. It absolutely is my favorite steel. I would if they gave you the option between all kinds of other different steels, I would choose S35VN for an EDC knife. 10 out of 10 times. I really would. And I would choose exactly how Chris Reeve Knives does it. Like nobody does it better. It's such a fantastic blade steel. This thing is let me show you like next to the Delica. For better or for worse, for me it's better. I am a fucking moron and I can fuck up a goddamn ball bearing. So I want my knives to be a little bit more durable. That's probably one of the reasons why I never carry a Delica. I don't like Delicas because I'm just like, I just want something more. Um, so for me, it's a pleasant surprise um, because I've had it both ways with Chris Reeve knives. Um, this the tip is pretty dang beefy as I maybe have ever seen on a Chris Reeve knife, and that's what I want. I don't want something scalpel thin um, like a Delica or even like a PM2. I want something substantial, durable. I don't need it to fucking, you know, peel grapes. I don't need to split hairs with it. I just need it to be a good problem solving companion, and a general tool. And my use is something a little bit more stout, is what's called for. So I would say that's perfect. Personally, I would say that this specimen of the small Sebenza 31 for my uses is absolutely perfect. Um, we'll see, obviously, my issue with the stop pin, the sleeveless stop pin, the stepped design is, my issue is an idealist point of view. The truth is, like the way that Chris Reeve Knives alleviated the reason I sent it back, I mean, for better or for worse, I don't know, all of the, I guess in a nutshell, what they did is they sanded down only the pivot bushing, and what that did was it allowed the pivot bushings um, width to be just a fraction either equal to or less than the width of the shoulder of the stop pin sleeve. So what that allows it to do is what that allows it to do is squeeze down on the blade a little bit more. Now, ideally, they're identical, and that squeezes down on the blade evenly, right, on the entire surface of the washer. But one thing that could happen is if the washers do wear down on this, and you go and you sand down the width of the pivot bushing, what could happen is you crank this down, and it in fact takes the handle scales and just kind of tweaks them in like this. And so it's actually has contact down here, but no contact up in the upper region of the washer. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, it could be fucking bullshit. It could just be an idealist point of view, but it still is a step backwards because all that shit doesn't is non-issue on the 21 with the sleeve, with the stop pin sleeve design, and their fucking reasoning for it is, well, I guess there's more tension in this lock than there is on a 21, and it was deforming that sleeve. I don't see how that's possible because the shit fits real snug. I would think if anything, it would just like push it up again. It like if the sleeve there's enough room for it to deform, wouldn't it just like push it over? I don't know. Seems like bullshit to me. But again, white lies, right? So. Again, though, all this shit that I'm saying is really, for something like this, kind of a moot point, because I fucking guarantee you every other damn knife out there is not even kind of concerned with that kind of tolerances. They're like, does it seem to work or not? Ship that fucker, I mean, so, and who knows, maybe Chris Reeve knives is exactly the same. But they pull it off in a much sexier way. I haven't noticed, I haven't examined a plane. Let's see. Where's my Inkosi? Here's my Inkosi, my small Inkosi. But I just wanted to show it's probably just because it's a micarta, but and I kind of like this. The CR logo is both smaller and kind of crammed up into the corner of the titanium scale, and it's also much deeper. You can see there. So that's kind of interesting. Although I don't think either one looks necessarily better than the other. Maybe that one might look a little bit better because it's slightly less crammed in there. But it's understandable because there's not much space there for that to fit there. As far as my feelings, because some of you guys know I got both of these basically at the same time, like 2 days apart. My feelings on the small Inkosi versus the 31. Boy, the small Inkosi sure is sexy. I try to be as real as possible with myself and not bullshit myself all that much. We all do, though, obviously, with these fucking things. But, so I would say, for me, I see the 31 as like more of a necessary tool, and I see the small Inkosi as slightly more superfluous. Just because I see I see the 31 or 21, micarta or plain, as it just has a leg up on the Inkosi, in my opinion, just because it is a classier knife. I don't think there's any way you can necessarily prove that an Inkosi is like more durable. I mean, we all know that the Inkosi uses slightly thicker stock in every place. We know that the Inkosi uses a bigger hardware in the pivot. Has a real beefy stop pin. On that note, I kind of wish they had not fucked with the. I think they should have just done that on the Sebenza 31. They should have just. I mean, I still would prefer the 21's stop pin to either one. I do like that the Inkosi. I like the way the Inkosi is. It shouldn't be altered. It's cool that this is just like a. This doesn't affect the way that this shit is assembled or how it works. That it just floats on there. We probably all know this. Where this one actually is pinched in there. It actually has a standoff involved. Another couple things I feel like they could have done with the 31 that I'm just really surprised they didn't in 2020 or 2019 is they should, even though I love the Sebenza or the Chris Reeve standard bent clip is probably my favorite clip. But I feel like it was a real missed opportunity to go with some kind of sexy milled clip. I mean, for God's sakes, they did it with the goofy ass Impinda. They really should. I feel like they should have done that with this. Another thing I think they really should have done with the 31 is they should have made the, and this is stupid, but it's just kind of a nitpick for me. I feel like they should have made the lanyard tube shit like more like a native 5, or sorry, native 5, a fucking paramilitary 2, where it's like a hollow pin standoff shit. I think that would have been cool. Or they could have done like a cool, small machined backspacer in there. Just something a little bit different. That doesn't piss off all the fanboys, but I don't know, just a something. Although shit, I mean, we got this inlay. I feel like that is a fucking pretty big deal. I always wanted one of the annual knives just because I thought it was sexy, even though I don't like the wood. So to be able to get it in a production knife, I think is cool. It is kind of a funky looking, weird little inlay, but all of Chris Reeve's shit is. Here you can see, just real quick, comparison of, this knife, if there is one knife that I have that is like basically an EDC like all the time, that sees the vast majority of my personal pocket time and use, it's this large Inkosi. I took a long weekend camping this past weekend, and the two knives I took with me were these two knives, and also my Carruthers. My Carruthers EDC too. But I tried to keep this knife on me the whole time. I did do a little bit of food prep that I was like, we're not gonna gunk up the 31 just yet. So I used the Inkosi. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked on the way that this looks. I don't want to like go rubbing grease and oil and shit into this to like push it. I kind of like to earn that for myself. But so I'll be stoked once this actually kind of gets that little more of a worn look. One misconception, since I think I put the word Micarta in the title. And if you guys are like me, like if I'm interested in a knife or if I'm interested in a fucking new guitar pedal or whatever it is, I fucking watch every goddamn video, every minute of every video out there, just because I'm a fucking nut like that. And I forgot where I was going with that. Where was I going with that? Anyway, I'm super pumped on the knife. I actually am, obviously it's still a honeymoon phase, but it would be really hard for me to say that I've ever had a knife that I like as much as this knife. It is fantastic. Also, one of the best things about, especially like the the media blasted Chris Reeve knives is they get the cool, pocket washed, scratched up, just kind of buffed finish through time. And I'm super pumped on that with this. I think that this knife is going to be just fantastic once that it looks a little bit more used and worn in. But I would say, man, anyone on the fence with like, if you're just like, oh, this whole 21, 31 debate and like they got to iron out all the blah, blah, blah. I really do. I think that Chris Reeve Knives is just all things considered, the finest knife manufacturer that we've got, at least in the United States. And I think if there was an issue, they'll make it work. I mean, they fucking make these things to such tight tolerances that, say there was just like a fucking overall recall and they're like, we're gonna revamp the fucking stop pin on all of them. They'll make it so it fits right in this, you know what I mean? So I just don't think there's any real good reason to, like, personally, for me, to like seek out a 21, you know, because people have actually private messaged me like, you know, oh, I just gotta get a 21. I want to try to find a, you know, a 21 in stock somewhere, and I wouldn't do that personally, unless, I guess the main reason I wouldn't do it, especially if if I wasn't already like a Chris Reeve guy, is because you're gonna be tempted. You're gonna know that that 21 has some fucking extra value to it because it is discontinued. So no, you're never. I mean, the chances are that you're gonna baby that knife and you're never really gonna get to know it. I really feel like a person cannot develop a real opinion on a knife until they've put it through the paces, until they've cut with it, sharpened it, um, until they've put the first few couple scratches on it, and they're kind of like, ah, boy, that's, you know, now that that's out of the way, I can actually fucking use this thing. Um, so that's one reason why I would say, like, I don't get the 21 unless you're gonna get that 21 and you're just gonna go, God damn it, I'm just gonna fucking use this thing. But that's, you know, shit. I have two 21s right now, and I'm already like, well, guess I'm not using those anymore. And I don't even like collecting knives. I just I prefer to have knives that, you know, I enjoy carrying and using. You know, so my recommendation is if you're thinking about buying a Chris Reeve knife, to get the 31, man. I say get the 31. Hard for me to say as far as like, you know, is the micarta worth the extra $100? It just depends on whether you like the aesthetics. I mean, as far as like, you know, it offers a little bit more of in-hand comfort, but it's not like night and day. Nobody gives a fuck if you have a Sebenza in your pocket, so it's just for you. You know, you got to get what you like. Like I said in my last video on these things, if all my Chris Reeve knives, you know, were stolen tomorrow, first things first, I would absolutely buy another one immediately. If I didn't have the cash to do it, I would absolutely sell fucking some of my other fucking hobby gear and get one immediately. And I feel like I probably would go plain double lug, just because I'm like, I don't know, you know, the $100 is, in a month you forget about it, and you know you're just gonna be happy or want more out of your knife. So you got to be honest with yourself about that. But I don't know. I guess I just like I like the looks of the planes. Even this Inkosi, like I like this minimal appearance of it. You know, I do like this Inkosi. It's so surprising how much I like it. But yeah, I say, you know, fuck man, 2 thumbs up, all the thumbs up on the Sebenza 31, micarta here. It I'm no stranger to Chris Reeve knives, so it's not like there's any surprises or, you know, glaring shortcomings or anything like that. That's just like, oh my God, you know. But just like the main thing is, honestly, is like just like the title says, don't believe the haters, because like there's no reason to, you know. Which is funny because like you know, one more thing I'll say is I really like that they added the ceramic lock to the 31, but like on Hinder XM18s, I don't like that they put a lock bar insert on it. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. um, Hopefully this was useful. I gotta run. My wife's about to get home from hot yoga. Damn. So palabra tu madre, and we'll see you next time, dude.